Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Endless Midnight Genesis. This is episode 5. I am James Baxter. I'm the DM for this thing. And tonight, I'm here with Steven Johnson.
Hello, James. Thank you for having me.
I've been looking forward to this one for a while.
Yeah, so have I. I've been in the dark. There's 4 episodes that I haven't been able to watch.
Now, I never expressly forbade you from watching the other ones as they went. I just didn't want you to get it spoiled, you know?
I didn't want to disappoint you.
I want your enjoyment to be as high as possible. And so now here we are. I should tell you a couple things, Steven. For one thing, we have not been doing any exposition whatsoever. If anyone is interested in the setting, they can listen to Endless Midnight, the first one, which is on wherever you get your podcasts. It's out there under Neon Goblin, Endless Midnight. It was only, 7 episodes?
Yeah.
It was 7 episodes, yeah. I enjoyed that format so much that we're going back to that. So pretty soon, this will be available as a podcast as well. As soon as we get around to editing and adding things to it, and we're working, we're trying to get bands to give us permission to use music, that kind of thing. So it shouldn't be too long. But so far we had Morgan on, we had Alden on, we had Alex, we had Kristen, and now it's your turn. This weird little experiment we're doing where I do a solo session with each character before we get to, I don't know what this is 1.5, I guess. Session 1.5 is what this is.
Yeah. Is it exhausting running 5 session zeros?
No, I've actually really enjoyed it. I feel like it would give you a little bit of character backstory before you meet the others. You know, you really get a feel for your character and everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know. And since your backstories are also different, it gives an opportunity to explore those before you meet the rest of the party. I think. I don't know. We'll see how it comes together on Monday when we have everybody together. So, we don't really have any business. So, Steven, would you like to tell us about your character?
Sure. I will be playing Droth Shard Stealer. He's a gem dragonborn of emerald ancestry, so he's got sparkling green skin. He is a rogue. You'll find him working as a courier in the city of Barras. Is that how I say it? Barras?
Barras, Bear Ass is how Fiskar says it.
That's how the kids around him
That's
say
how
it. Yeah, so you'll find Droth working as a courier around the city, picking up odd jobs here and there, far from his dragonborn home. But he's a nice enough guy, wears some shabby tattered poncho, some leather armor, gets him around town.
Okay. I would like to mention at this point that Cass Rivers did our character artwork for this. Fantastic job. It looks great. 5 different characters, and Cass is a consummate professional, and I thank you to Cass for that. So Droth, you are in Barras, which is a city close to the Great Scythe on the eastern end of Scythia. Let me see if I can pull the map up here. There it is. On the eastern end of Scythia, the convention in Scythia is that the country is named Barras, and there's also the capital city is also called Barras. And it is nestled into the Great Scythe, which is a mountain range on the eastern end of Scythia. It is a sprawling city in the foothills of the Great Scythe, and it also exists under the mountain. originally it was a dwarven settlement under the mountain. So it has grown into a sizable city where people from all walks of life, all races congregate together to live, to work, to do everything else. But you know that only dwarves are really allowed inside the mountain. The other people are allowed in during the day as long as they have the right paperwork, but when sundown comes, they got to vamoose, right? So this entire city has grown up in the foothills, and it goes from almost sea level at the very bottom to about 1,000 feet at the top. And it has everything you would expect to find in a city. It has it's a lot like what I was thinking, maybe Denver, something like that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very walkable city, and you have been working jobs there for a while. You're a career, and you have begun to build up a reputation as a career. And one day, you receive a message which asks you to be at a certain sidewalk cafe at a certain time of day on a certain day. And at the bottom, it is signed K. And that's it. That's all you get.
Okay. Pretty standard.
You are used to working with individuals that are a little left of the law, right? Maybe not too far left, but a little bit left of the law. Barras is pretty stringent in a lot of its laws, you know, concerning contraband. So,
Right. Yeah, if you wanted, most people probably just go through FedHex to deliver their stuff, but I work by myself.
Yeah, exactly. So, would you like to keep this appointment, or do you want to let it pass by?
Can't afford to lose a job right now. A little bit slow this time of year.
Okay. So on the day that you're supposed to be there, at the time you're supposed to be there, at the place you're supposed to be there, you approach the sidewalk cafe, which has, you know, umbrellas at the tables. There's maybe 3 tables on the sidewalk. You see that there is a waitress walking around with a black apron. She's handing out cups of coffee, and none of the people at any of the tables look like someone that you would normally be meeting under these circumstances. There is a couple. The one side of the couple is a man wearing a like a black turtleneck that comes up really far on his head, and the other side of the couple is another. They're both humans. Another man who is wearing a like a Hawaiian shirt. At another table, you see a woman sitting by herself. She has dark skin and long curly hair. And at another table, you see a person writing on or hitting the keys on a machine that, well, it's a typewriter.
I try not to stand out too much, even though I'm probably the only really gym dragonborn around most of the time. So I'll go grab a coffee, stand outside the shop.
Okay. So you try to be casual, blend in, so to speak. You're used to being the only Dragonborn around most of the time. There are quite a few Dragonborn in Scythia, but they're not common, right? So you're used to being the only one around. You're used to strange looks and stuff like that. But as you pass the hostess stand, you hear a voice call out to you. Are you Droth? And it's the woman with dark skin and long curly black hair.
Knew it. Are you okay?
Yes. Would you like to have a seat? Now, Kay is dressed fashionably, not expensively, but fashionably, with boots that come up, almost all the way to the knee. She's wearing a scarf. It's a cool day up here at about 1,500 feet sea level.
Yeah, I throw my poncho around my shoulder, sit down.
Thank you for coming.
How can I help you?
Well, I need you to do a job. Are you available?
How long will it take?
I don't know exactly. Less than a day. I just
Okay.
need you to deliver something, that's all.
Yeah. Yes, I can help. If you
Okay.
can pay the price, sure.
And what is your price?
Well, I'll take 5 gold up front, uh, 5 gold when I get back, unless there's any complications. Then maybe,
No,
you
there's
know,
no complications. Here's what I'm going to do. And she pulls a manila envelope out of one of her many pockets, puts it on the table and slides it towards you. I need you to deliver this to someone who's going to be hard to get to. Very hard to get to. Does that affect your price at all?
I found hard to get to people before. Sometimes they're just high up in a tree and I have to climb there. Sometimes I have to talk to a mob boss in the sewer to get to them. Which kind are you talking about?
So, I need to be upfront about some things. I selected you for this job for a couple of reasons. One, you have a reputation for delivering things wherever they need to go. And two, you're not human or dwarf.
Very observant.
You see this this conflict between Fiskar and Barras is largely between humans and dwarves. Fiskar is mostly ruled by humans. Barras is mostly ruled by dwarves. It's like the unstoppable force hit the immovable object. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Think I do.
You don't have a dog in this race. If you can complete this, I am prepared to pay you. She pulls another envelope out and slides it across the table to you. And it has folding money in it.
Hmm.
It is equivalent to 500 gold pieces in Fiskar money. Now, you would understand that Fiskar money or currency and Barras currency are pretty much interchangeable. The rate changes based on whoever happens to be ahead in the conflict at the moment, but for the most part, they're interchangeable. Unless you go in some redneck bar or something, you can use Fiskar money wherever.
And this, okay, I kind of peek inside the envelope,
Mm-hmm. It is a lot more money than you were expecting.
try to play it cool. So it appears you may have a dog in this fight.
That's very observant, Droth. Very observant. I need you to take this envelope to General Reinhardt. He is the head of Baras's military, but I need you to put it in his hands in particular. Not one of his cronies, not one of the lower, but his hands. I need you to make sure that you put this envelope into General Reinhardt's hands in particular. Which means you have to go in there. And she points back towards the mountain. And you're probably going to have to break some laws while you do it.
I can do that.
Okay.
What does this general look like? Where will I find him?
Well, he's about 4 feet tall. And he has a beard. Does that help?
Narrows it down a little bit. No.
Well, he's going to have more stuff on his uniform than anyone else. I think you'll know him when you see him, honestly.
Okay, fair enough.
So you'll accept?
Yeah, I accept. How will you know when the message is delivered? Just
I won't.
handshake.
That's another thing about this. I have to completely trust you. Because you're probably never going to see me again.
Well, likewise, you can trust me. I never peek in the packages. They make it there. Rain, snow, or sandstorm.
That's what I heard. Speaking of never seeing someone again, I have one other thing for you that I acquired a couple of days ago. And she reaches out and drops into your hand a ring. This might help.
This is to be delivered to the general?
No, that's for you. And since I'll never see you again, you can just keep it.
Okay. It's not cursed, or you're not gonna scry on me?
It is not cursed, but it is magical. I got it a couple of days ago in Fiskar. It's a ring of invisibility. You can go ahead and put that on your character sheet there, Steven.
Nice. Thank you.
It might help you get past. I really don't think it's going to be easy to get through there.
Okay. And this message, are there certain hands that it shouldn't fall into?
Anyone's other than General Reinhardt, yes.
So, should I eat the message if I get captured, or is
No.
it that kind of?
No, do not eat the message.
Okay.
What I need you to do is get to General Reinhardt by whatever means necessary and put that envelope in his hand.
Okay. Just checking. I've had to eat a message before, so it's part of the package.
You can tell him it came from Corinne.
Corinne. Okay. Anything else I should know, or I'll head out?
It was nice meeting you.
Likewise, I suppose.
You seem like a level-headed young man.
Just trying to get through the day, I suppose.
I sincerely hope that you have many days ahead of you. She gets up, she straightens her scarf, and she just walks away.
Okay. I take a second, finish my coffee, look casual, then I'll gather my things and head over to the mountain.
Okay, so it's the middle of the day. It's like around noon or so. And you I don't know if you've been inside the mountain before or not, but there's a checkpoint at a gate that goes into a tunnel that goes into the mountain that is manned by a Barazian soldier who is a dwarf. There is like a thing that goes up and down to let trucks or whatever in, right? And it's watched like a hawk.
Okay, I imagine I've been into the mountain before a time or two. You said it's a little easier to get into the daytime and probably a little easier for non-humans to go in.
Yes, and in fact, you would know that non-dwarves are not allowed in the mountain after sundown.
Okay.
Like there are people that work in the mountain that are not dwarves, but they are expected to leave the mountain before sundown.
Okay. Is there a chance I'd have, I guess, some old like documentation to go into from an old job if I have
You could. I think maybe we should roll something. This is D&D, right?
try some forgery
You want
and
to
change
roll
the date
something?
on document? I'd love to.
Okay. Let's oh, shit, what would you roll for forgery? Roll forgery. What do you
Is that
roll
in
for
D&D Beyond?
forgery?
Oh, I also on the way there, I'm gonna
Uh-huh.
duck into an alley, try out the ring of invisibility, try some stuff out with it. It's definitely the first time I've ever had anything like this.
It works as advertised.
Okay. I don't feel like I'm being scryed on.
You hold your hand up, you can't see it.
Okay. Let's see. I mean, I have thieves' tools. I could just roll and dexterity for a forgery.
Sure. That sounds good.
Okay. Let's roll the campaign. 16.
Ooh. Okay, so you pull out an old um, document that you had to deliver something inside the mountain before, and you just change the dates on it. You know, like you're forging a report card or whatever.
Change it. Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Change a 3 into an 8.
exactly.
On it.
Um, and you have what you think might be passable documents to get inside.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just try to casually saunter in. I've hid the 500 gold worth of folding money on my person, and I'll try to tuck the actual envelope away as well.
Okay. Okay, so you approach the gate, and there's a little shack with a red and white arm that comes down in front of the road. And as you approach the gate, the guard comes out. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Where do you think you're going?
Name is Droth Shard Stealer. Have a delivery.
All right, let's see your papers.
Present the documents.
All right, all this looks to be in order. He gives you your papers back. Keep in mind, you're supposed to be out here by sundown.
Well before.
Before nightfall as well.
Yes. Yes.
All right, off with you then. And he goes back to his shack and picks up his play dwarf. Just looking at it.
I'll scurry on through.
Okay.
Is there a lot of foot traffic here?
Not particularly, not this time of day. Maybe you get the idea that maybe like first thing in the morning when people are going to work, and then the evening when they're leaving. There's probably a lot of foot traffic, but right now there's not.
Okay.
You get inside, and it's a car-sized tunnel, right? So you walk through, and when you get inside there, the tunnel goes left and right, and there is a big Barasian flag on the wall, and a couple other flags that don't really mean anything to you. And you can go left or right.
Take a left.
Okay, so you go left, and you are still in a car-sized tunnel. Every now and then you see a door on your left and on your right, like a regular-sized door on hinges, right? And as you walk through, you know, they all have like numbers above them, like for department numbers. But you know that you can, General Reinhardt's not going to be anywhere near here. This is where, you know, the lowest of the low are.
Okay. I'll head back the other direction then.
Okay. So you go back the other way, and you see a lot of the same thing. You know, you see department numbers on doors and things, and little cartoons that people hung up on the door windows. But at the end of this hallway, you do see an elevator.
Is it manned or just can I just go in?
I mean, there's nobody in front of it.
Okay, I'll go try to operate the elevator. I assume the general's going to be. Oh, they're dwarves, so he's lower or higher in the mountain. It's more prestigious. It's like 1,000 foot mountain, and I started at the base, right?
The mountain range is like more like 10,000 feet.
Okay. Does the elevator go up and down?
It does.
Okay. I'll try to ascend in the elevator.
Okay. So you get in the elevator and you close the door. It's the old-fashioned type where you pull the cargo door thing across,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. And you have to select the button, and then there's like a handle you got to pull. Ka-ching.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do that, you hear like a bunch of mechanical noises. It doesn't sound like elevators that you'd see in Fiskar. It's more like a very mechanical, like there's a motor running somewhere that might not even be electrical, and it's powering the elevator. And you know that dwarves have been resistant to magical technology. So most of what you see in the mountain is going to be low technology.
Okay.
Do you want to go all the way to the top?
I mean, am I getting any indication of the floors that I'm passing? Any signs that I would need to stop?
Not really. You close the thing and it doesn't have like elevator doors. You can see outside, right, as it goes up. Mostly it's just rock walls, but every now and then a floor goes by, and you can see people drinking coffee, and most of them are wearing military uniforms, but not all of them. But as you go up, you see people that are dressed a little nicer than on the lower floors.
Probably want to go. I don't want to go all the way to the top. That seems like a bad idea to start off with.
Okay.
But I do want to get pretty high up and then maybe explore out in a relatively uncrowded floor.
Okay, so you don't go all the way up. You go up to, I don't know, let's say three floors below that.
Yeah.
Of which there are like 40 floors.
Okay.
That it mentions on the buttons, right? So you stop at, I don't know, the 37th, right? And it also has buttons that go negative. You know what I mean? Like, there's level 1 where you started, and it goes negative and it goes positive. So you get all the way up to the 37th floor, and oddly enough, nobody tries to get on the elevator with you. You just keep going, right? So the 37th floor opens, and there's nobody up there. It looks like maybe the floor is under construction. You see cans of paint laying around and buckets of drywall plaster, that kind of stuff. Exposed wiring.
Peek around. I'll walk around a little bit.
Okay.
I'm trying to just look lost.
Okay.
Every once in a while, I'll pull out a piece of paper, look at it like I'm trying to read directions or something.
Sure. So you walk around this floor, and you hear, after you leave the elevator, you hear hammering from one end of this floor. And the lights kind of flicker every now and then. They're not really on. They're not off. It's somewhere in the middle, right?
Okay.
And you can tell this floor is definitely under construction. They're building something, offices or whatever. And you can hear construction people just around the corner.
Perfect. That's who I want to. I want to find the construction people.
Okay. So you go around that corner, and you see 3 people. None of them are dwarves. There is a halfling. There is a human. And there is a tiefling. And they're all wearing coveralls that are splattered with paint. And one of them has a hammer, and he's beating the shit out of this wall, right? And the other 2 are critiquing him on his progress.
Excuse me.
All three of them turn to look at you. Huh?
Fellows, hello.
I don't think you're supposed to be up here.
I don't think so either. I'm a little lost.
Obviously.
Was hoping you could help me a little bit.
Well, maybe. Where are you trying to go?
Do they look sketched out or
Not totally, no.
I guess do they look like they're doing anything wrong?
No.
Okay. I didn't know if this is I stumbled on another heist.
No, I wish I thought of that, though.
I need to find a General Reinhardt. I need to deliver something personal to him.
General Reinhardt.
Yeah.
we're just handymen. We just kind of. That guy's like, he's like, I mean, he's practically the president, right?
Oh yeah, sure, of course.
I mean,
So
especially now. I mean, I guess he would go up.
okay,
I mean, I never even seen that guy.
is this as high as you all go?
Well, I mean, for now, till we get this floor done, eventually.
Okay. Yeah, it's just, my first day, so I just got a little bit nervous, I guess. So I just go up. Do
I
they?
mean, I would.
Okay.
Or, I don't know, down? Do you guys think down? I'd go up. Yeah, go up.
Okay.
All right.
All right. You've been extremely helpful. Goodbye.
And as soon as you turn away, they go back to doing what they were doing.
Cool. Yeah, I guess I'll head back to the elevator from here.
Okay.
Keep my eye out for anything interesting along the way.
I mean, there were some tools laying around here and there, some building materials, like a box of nails, box of screws, that kind of stuff.
Okay. I don't know exactly what's in a thieves' tools kit, but if there's anything that looks useful, we'll grab it.
Okay. So you get back to the elevator, it is still there.
Oh, great. A little suspicious. Yeah, I'm just going to go to the top floor, I guess.
Okay. So you get on the elevator and you pull the door shut. And you hit number, what was it, 40? You hit number 40. And then it's a short trip. 3 floors later, you hear a little ding. You still have to open the door, but you hear a little ding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll open the door, peek my head out.
This one, when the door opens, it's in a hallway that goes left and right. It has fluorescent lighting. And people are walking by. They're all wearing military uniforms. Some of them look like they're in a hurry. Some of them look like they're trying to look like they're in a hurry. Nobody really... I mean, a couple of people look at you as they walk by, but they don't stop you.
I'll walk confidently through the hall.
Okay. So you walk confidently through the hall.
Should have gotten one of those high vis vests or something. Nobody questions the guy with the vest.
I know, right? That's not a hard hat. You can go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So you're walking down the hall. And someone's walking towards you. It's a dwarf, and he's wearing a military uniform. He's got tons of stuff on his uniform. He got a bunch of ribbons. He got a bunch of, bling on his uniform. He's got a big old beard, And as he walks past you, he stops. He goes, "Excuse me, are you lost? Why are you here?"
I have very important message for General. The General.
The general.
Yes.
Well, there are something like 17 generals, so you're gonna have to be more specific.
The General Reinhardt.
Reinhardt.
That's correct.
All right. Well, you can give it to me, and I'll make sure he gets it.
It's it's a little personal. It's coming from the general himself, so I
Personal.
think, yeah, that's right.
I've never known General Reinhardt to be personal in any respect. So, you can just
Yes,
hand it over to me, and I'll make sure he gets it.
yes, he's mostly
What did
likely kept those
What did you say
personal
your
things
name
from
was?
you
What was your name?
because they're personal.
What
My
is it?
name,
Yes, what's your name?
the Droth.
Droth.
D-
Drath.
Droth.
Drath.
Droth. Yes.
Drath.
Yes.
All right. Do you have any papers with you, giving you access to this facility?
I was let in on personal orders from the general, so
Really?
papers were not needed. Yeah.
Really?
Yes,
Okay.
that's correct.
You are Why don't you do me a favor there, Steven, and I guess roll a persuasion check?
Really,
I
really.
mean, we're playing D&D, right? We should do
I
rolls
kept
here and
doing.
there.
I was doing all these lies, and I was like, I should have put some points into charisma. Okay, there's no one in the room with me, but I did roll a natural 20
Oh shit, no kidding.
right there.
Okay, I believe you. It's okay. It's okay,
Okay,
Steven.
thank
I
you.
believe you. Well, personal, you say?
Yeah.
Personal.
I look around like, yeah.
All right, I'll tell you what. I'm going to take you to a waiting room. Okay, come with me. And he starts
Okay.
walking down the hall.
I will follow him. Yeah.
Okay. And he takes you to a room. It's maybe 20, 30 feet away. He takes you through the door has no window in it, but he takes you through a door. And you're
Are
in
there
a
guards
very...
posted outside?
Hmm?
Are there guards posted outside?
No.
Okay.
And he takes you into this very small room that has a coffee maker and a vending machine.
One fluorescent light at the
It has
top.
very cheap tile on the floor and one old table. Sit here, and I'll go get him for you, all right?
Okay, but I have to be gone by sundown, as you know.
Oh,
So
I'm well aware of that.
going to take a long time.
We'll see.
Okay. Do I get the sense that I convinced him at all?
You can roll an insight check.
I would like to do that. I guess I want to know, do I feel like he's actually going to go get the general?
Okay.
That is an 11 on insight.
You do get the sense that he's going to get the general. You don't get the sense that he's taking you particularly seriously, but he is going to tell the general that you're here.
Okay. Great. I would like to, as soon as the door closes,
Mm-hmm.
maybe start the coffee machine, just get a cup going under there, and then I'm gonna put on the ring of invisibility
Okay.
and try to sneak out the door.
Okay. The door is not locked because you rolled a natural 20 on your persuasion check.
What are the odds?
So the door is not locked, and it does open.
Okay.
As you turn the handle. There are no guards posted outside. Nothing like that.
Can I see the tails of his heels? Do I know which direction he went?
Yes, he went left.
Okay. I'd like to leave the door. I guess I'll just head down the hall and try to follow him.
Just gonna follow him? Okay.
Yeah, maybe 30 feet behind him, as long as the hallways allow it.
Okay. Go on and roll a stealth check at advantage for me.
Okay. It's going to be with stealth a. Ooh, okay. I've never played a rogue before. +7 at stealth at level 1 is it's wild. So that's a dirty 20.
Nice. Okay. So you follow him down the hallway. You can get close enough that you have him well within sight, so he turns corners and stuff. You can follow him, and he makes a lot of turns. And there's a lot of other people in the hallway too, but whenever they come by, you're able to just kind of get out of the way as they go by. Nobody notices you. He makes a left, he makes a right, he makes a left, he makes another left, he makes a right. It's like a labyrinthian maze of offices on this floor. And then he stops at another break room that looks just like the one you were just in. And he gets a cup of coffee. While he's doing that, several people come in and out. There's a lot of office-like talk. You know, hey, what'd you do this weekend, Jim? That kind of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mind-numbingly boring. He makes a cup of coffee and he stands there for a little while. Takes a sip. 2 or 3 people come in and leave. He takes another sip. He takes another sip.
I'm eyeing his coffee. I'm jealous that mine's back in the room.
And just as you think, this fucking guy, right? He throws the cup away and he begins walking again. He leaves the break room and he makes a right. So you follow him. He makes a left. He makes a right and another left. And he ends up at this huge door. It's made out of metal. All the doors you've seen so far have been made out of wood mostly. They have metal hardware and stuff on it, but mostly they've been made out of wood or a wood-like material. But this one is this giant door that's made out of metal. And it's 2 doors that open in the middle with like an arch at the top. And when he gets to them, he turns this big handle. And he pushes the door inward, which swings kind of easily. And he walks in through the gap.
I'm sorry. I'm going to try to slip in behind him.
Okay, roll a dexterity check for me.
14.
Okay, so he goes to the door and immediately goes to close it. And you just scooch through before the door closes too far for you to make it. And you were in a room that looks like there's a giant map on the wall with a bunch of push pins on it. A map of Scythia with push pins on it. And there's a huge table with another map on it. And this one has like miniatures on it. You know what I mean? It's got like miniatures that represent forces and stuff like that. And on the other side of the room, it's completely windowed. Floor to ceiling, it's windows. And you can see for miles. You're not sure how high up you are. It looks like thousands of feet. And you can see forever. It's a nice clear day. And in the room are lots of dwarves. They're all wearing military uniforms. And there are several gathered out around one who is... He has even more stuff on his uniform than the guy you were just dealing with. And he's got a clipboard, and there's guys around him with clipboards, and they're showing him clipboards, right?
Maybe go stroll over to the window, take a peek out while I can. But I'm kind of keeping an eye on this dwarf who was following me or who was leading me and seeing how he interacts with the general.
Okay. Near the window, you see this control panel. It looks very mechanical. There's It doesn't look digital in any way. It's very mechanical. And there are 8 different handles on it across the width. And when you look to your right out the window, you can see this gigantic, what looks like a cannon, sticking out of the side of the mountain. It's big enough for you to walk down the barrel.
Is it pointed in the direction of Fiskar?
It's pointed in the direction of, it's pointed west. That's
Okay.
all I can tell is west. The people that are gathered around the guy keep showing him every now and then he signs something. They seem to be taking all of his attention. Every now and then he turns to a different one.
I think I'm just waiting patiently until I hear his response to the to my escort.
Okay. Your escort enters the room and he closes the door behind him. And he goes to the other end of the room. He doesn't go near that guy at all. He just kind of goes over there. He sits down at like a little desk. And he sits down real heavily. And starts staring blankly at whatever paperwork is in front of him.
Okay. I'll wait patiently for a couple of minutes, and information is kind of my trade. So if I can gather any, I'm really tucked away in like the corner of a room. I don't want to make any noise or bump into anything. But if I can listen to anything important, I guess I'll just eavesdrop for a minute.
Yeah, if you listen for a minute, you get a lot of information. These other military individuals that are trying to talk to the man in question are talking about troop movements and supplies and routes and things like that. And you could glean a lot of information about, if you were a Fiskar agent, you'd be getting all kinds of stuff, right? You do ascertain that this is General Reinhardt in the middle of this huddle. He's not the tallest one in the group, but you still get the feeling he's the biggest personality. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He seems a little bored with the whole affair, talking about routes and moving troops around and stuff like that. And after a minute or two, they start to leave him alone. He holds up a hand and goes, I'm going to take a break. I'll be back in a minute. Don't let the mountain crumble in the meantime, all right? And he walks away towards the big door.
Oh, shoot. I don't really... I don't think I want to risk going behind that heavy door again, so I'm going to... And I'm probably... Droth is getting a little impatient, too, so... I'm going to use my Gym Dragon psionic mind to send him a telepathic message.
Ooh.
So he will hear in his mind, I say, Corinne has a message for you.
He stops and looks around, but he doesn't like let on that he just, you know what I mean? He's super cool.
If you'd like, send your men away and we can talk.
He looks around the room and he looks right past you. Like his eyes scan past where you're standing and he doesn't see you at all. And then he opens the big doors. And he pulls one aside. Again, they swing a lot easier than they would think. He steps through and he does not close it behind him.
Okay, I'll try to stealthily follow him out of the room.
Okay, so he walks through the doors. He makes a left. And he walks down the hallway, eyes forward, maybe a little more stiff back than normal. And then eventually he gets to a door, which he opens, and he walks inside. And on the door, you see where it has his name, General Reinhardt.
Oh, that would have been helpful. Yeah, I'll try to.
He also does not close that door behind him either.
Okay. I'll follow in behind him. Is he the only one in the room?
Yes. There is a very utilitarian desk. It's made out of wood in a square. It does not have any artistic features to it whatsoever. There's a single picture on the wall of what you presume to be his family. And that's about it, really. There's some like commendations and things like that hang on the wall, but nothing important or interesting. And then he sits down behind his desk, folds his hands in front of him, and he just looks forward. Well, I'm ready.
I hold out the envelope. I pull out the envelope and hold it out of my hands before I turn on invisible, so that when I pop back in, I'm standing there waiting to hand the envelope to him.
He doesn't even flinch. Well, and who are you?
Just a messenger sent here by a Corinne.
Corinne, you say?
That's right.
I believe I met her once. What's in the envelope?
I don't know. I don't read them. I just bring them to you.
It's not some kind of poison or something.
I'd be happy to open it for you.
As I recall, Corinne was on the other side.
I maybe got that indication too, but like I said, I just deliver the envelopes.
All right, fuck it. Put it down on the table.
Drop it towards him.
He ponders it for a moment. He sits back in his chair, looks at it, and he looks at you.
Hopefully, if she wanted to do harm to you, she would have picked someone a little better than me.
What's your name?
Droth Shard Stealer.
How did you get in here without anybody seeing you?
She also happened to give me this ring. I had it before today, but
that's
like
not.
glove.
Yeah, but you know anyone can wear a ring. How did you get in here? You in particular. Most people they put that ring on and it doesn't make a difference.
I just kind of slink around here and there. I made a living off of not being seen.
All right. He reaches down and he takes hold of the manila envelope. He opens it and he pulls it out. He holds some papers up and a paper falls to the desk. It's a little smaller than the others. And you can see that it has coordinates on it from where you are. He looks down at that and he looks at the papers and he starts shuffling through them. You say Karen gave you these?
That's right. She called herself Kay. Out of the coffee shop, she handed me the envelope.
When?
Just 2 hours ago.
Son, this is very important. Are you sure that it wasn't, fuck, he wouldn't know. He reaches over to his desk and he pushes a button. And you hear like a mechanical buzzer somewhere else. Not in this room, but somewhere else. And after about, 4 seconds, a dwarf in a military uniform pokes his head in. Yes, sir. Come in for a moment. Close the door. He comes in and closes the door. This is my assistant. This is Droth. Say hello.
Pleased to meet you. Should I go? I mean, I delivered.
No, no, no.
Usually
You
I
stay right there. Um, I need you to. And he's talking to his assistant. It is time to face Tyr's judgment. And the assistant's face falls. Like he looks like he just goes really pale. Are you sure? I'm sure. Go inform the others. And he looks back at you. Wait a second, come back. Get the train car ready. We're going to the Dragon's Tooth, remember? We're going to take this one with us. The assistant, he gets all stuffy for a second. But, sir, he's not even a dwarf. Oh, really? You, Droth.
Yes.
You're now in the Barazian military. Congratulations. Bring him with us. Put him on the train. You don't get a choice.
What's the pay rank?
And that's where we'll take our first break tonight. Our only break, really. We only have another little while to go.
Wow. I kind of like this guy. He said, just to clarify, he said we're going to the Dragon's Turf?
Tooth. Dragon's Tooth.
Okay.
Tooth. Dragon's Tooth. Anyway. We will be back in a minute, everybody. Maybe 5 minutes or so. Maybe 10. Welcome back to Endless Midnight Genesis. In the first half, our Dragonborn rogue here, Droth, was given a task, which he has followed through on very well.
Surprisingly well.
He did very well, yeah.
Didn't expect this.
But he has found himself in a situation. So, General Reinhardt tells his assistant this. And you, right? He drops the papers to his desk, and when he does, you can kind of see what's on them. It looks like diagrams. And on the one that's on the top, it looks like there's a big cylinder drawn on it. So he stands up, he walks around his desk, and he tells his assistant, It's time. And he looks at you. You're going to stay with us. This is now a matter of national security, let's say.
I assume I have absolutely no choice in the matter.
I'm afraid not, no. Nothing personal, of course.
I think I left my oven on.
Hopefully there will be an oven to go back to. So, let's go. His assistant walks at the door, and he gestures towards the door.
I'll follow.
Okay. So you walk out the door, and you follow his assistant. General Reinhardt is right behind you, and they go into the same big room that they were in before. The train car is prepared for tomorrow, yes? All right, we're going to keep to that schedule. But in the meantime, we need to be ready. Load the cannons. And there's a little bit of consternation in the room when he says that. One of the other military people speaks up. But what about the dragons? He says, damn the dragons. This isn't about a conflict anymore. This is about the fate of Scythia itself. And we'll do what we have to. Now, we'll go to the Tooth tomorrow and we will talk to the dragons. And we'll see what happens. But in the meantime, be ready. And then his assistant walks up to you and he begins to kind of just sort of like, can you come this way, please? Can you please?
Hey, hey, are the people of the town, are we all in danger?
I'm not at liberty to say, but it's I don't think I'm at liberty to say. But if you could just come with me, please, we'll
I'm walking with him as he's like shoving me along, and I keep turning back. Like, shouldn't we tell people?
I don't think that would help at this point. General Reinhardt seems very agitated.
Yeah.
And when he gets agitated, things are in the shitter. So let's just do what he says. Here we go.
Okay, what's your name?
Oh, my name is Smidge.
Smidge.
Aye.
Okay. All right. Sure. I'll go.
Normally it's Sergeant Major Smidge, but seeing as how you're new, I won't hold you to that.
Yeah. Sergeant Major Droth is my name. Nice to meet you.
Well, I suppose we'll figure that out later. Let's just keep moving, all right?
Yeah.
You need to be in for, in my case, 17 years before you get Sergeant Major Special, right?
Okay.
I mean, you can be a sergeant major, but I'm a sergeant major special.
Yeah, well, it sounds like from what you're saying that none of this might matter anyway soon. So
That's what I'm trying to get across. So let's go ahead and go.
okay,
And we'll okay, so he takes you downstairs, down the same elevator. But you don't stop at the ground floor, you go down. And he takes you all the way down. It's like -15 or something like that. And when the door is open, or when he opens the door, rather, there's a tunnel hewn out of the rock. Big enough for like a subway car. And there is a train car sitting there. And on the other side of the train car, there are tracks that go off into the distance down a tunnel. Before that, you see in the rock around the edge, there are runes, which you would understand to be a teleportation circle. We're probably going to have to wait a while. That's usually how these things go. I know you're not a military person, but it's usually hurry up and wait, you know.
okay. So I have time to go home, get my stuff.
No, if you try to leave, I am going to shoot you.
Okay. All right, that's the last. I won't ask again. I think I get it now. Okay.
So, make yourself comfortable. He opens the train car, and inside it's actually pretty nice. There's like a bar. If you could imagine what the head of state travels like, that's what it looks like inside this train car.
Mm-hmm.
You get the idea that Reinhardt is acting head of state pretty much in this military situation. You know, this emergency situation. So tomorrow we are going to the Dragon's Tooth, and you'll just come along with us, I guess. That's all.
Am I allowed to ask why?
Because you are a liability, I assume.
If I stay here, I'm a liability.
No, if you stay here, you're no liability.
Okay.
If you were to leave, then you would become. That's how liabilities work, you see.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey.
Sure. I mean, I didn't read the envelope, but I hear you.
Well, neither did I, but I assure you that if I tried to leave, he would shoot me himself.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
kick back.
Can you, do you know how to play spades or hearts or parcheesi or anything like that?
Dragon chess?
What's that? Never played that one.
It's like a chess, but it's like there's 3 of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you teach me
I was
how to
looking
play?
at- Well, you have to have the set, so you probably wouldn't.
You don't have a set then,
No.
so you just brought it up for no reason, is
I
what
would
you're.
think that you would have a set on this
Well,
train.
you know, I've got a deck of cards.
Okay. Yeah, I play cards.
All right then. And then hours pass. I know that Stephen, you were never in the military, but it's hurry up and wait is a real thing, right? Like you rush, and then you just stand around for hours, right? So after a few hours, the elevator door opens again. And at this point, you're both so bored. So bored, right? That you're both, like, what are those little animals that burst out of the burrows?
Mole?
No, the ones that, like, stand up and...
Oh, like prairie.
Yes, prairie dogs. You're both prairie dog, like, huh? Right?
Yeah.
When the door opens. And through the door comes General Reinhardt with a contingent of, let's say 5 of dwarven men that have, like, stuff all over them. They get on the train, And Reinhardt pushes a button on the train. And when he does, the circle around the tunnel lights up in purples and pinks. Each rune glowing. Well, how have your first few hours in the Brazian military been?
Yeah, thrilling. He trained me on every combat technique known to man.
I'm sure he did. He's never been great at that, though.
Yeah.
That's why he's in that job.
Okay.
Anyway, let's go. And the train starts to roll forward, and suddenly you are somewhere else. You've been on these trains before, I assume, where it used to be that there were miles of tunnels underneath Scythia that shipping would happen on. Like, the trains would go back and forth in these train tunnels. But in the last 50 years or so, teleportation technology has come up. And instead of doing that, they use the teleportation circles and move the trains back and forth. So the tunnels aren't really used anymore. So the train car starts moving forward, and then you're somewhere else immediately. Why don't you roll a Constitution saving throw for me?
Okay. Not that die. Wow. Rolled a 19 plus 3. 22.
Okay, so for a second, your stomach kind of flutters a little bit, but you recover quickly. Just from the disorientation of being somewhere else all of a sudden. You're not used to teleportation. It's just, something that's happened before to you. There is sunlight in the tunnel that you're in, and General Reinhardt looks at you, and he looks at his assistant, and he says, I'm going up there. After I go up there, you are free to do whatever you like. At ease, soldier. And he goes to the door. And you see him climb a staircase where the sunlight is coming through. Smidge looks around and goes, well, I guess I don't have to watch you anymore. I'm going to stay right here. What do you want to do? You want to play some more Parcheesi?
I'm just going to wink at Smidge and turn invisible. And then I will follow.
Where did you go?
Follow the general up the stairs.
Where did he go?
Smidge. Come on, man.
He seems locked in his confusion. So you got through the door, and General Reinhardt climbs some stairs. And when he comes out, or you follow him, and when you go up the stairs, you come out into bright sunlight, and you can still see the Great Scythe off to the west and the north, kind of. And in front of you is a gigantic cake platter made out of stone. When I say gigantic, I mean the disc on top is like 100 feet wide. And there's a relatively narrow column in the middle holding the whole thing up, which is why I call it a big cake platter. You would have seen pictures of this. It's called the Dragon's Tooth. And it is where it's where they meet the dragons when they need to. And 50 years ago or so, a little more than 50 years ago, there was a war in Scythia. Before that, the dragons ruled Scythia, and everybody knows this. The dragons were in charge. And then humans began to take over, and dwarves began to take over. And after a while, the dragons got tired of fighting them, and they said, you know what? Do your thing. We're just going to, follow our own interests. And then 50 to 70 years ago or so, somewhere in there, there was a big war, out of which was born Fiskar and Barros. But it got so bad that the dragons stepped in. They killed a lot of people. And they said, if you ever do this again, we will intervene and we will be in charge again. And since then, I don't know, it took 50 years or so for another conflict to grow up, right? Because you got humans on one side, you got dwarves on the other. Mm-hmm. And they have been terrified of going over the line, of getting the dragons to step in and stop the conflict. That's partly why Smidge's face turned to ash when Reinhardt invoked Tyr's judgment. And now that you see the dragon's tooth, you understand that Reinhardt is going up there to talk to them. What would you like to do?
I like to trail behind. I want to go up and join him.
With the ring on?
Yes.
Okay.
Assume it won't. I mean, from what I know of dragons, it probably won't do much, but I'll stay invisible.
So you follow Reinhardt. At the base of the tooth, there's an elevator. It looks more modern than the rest of it. It's probably added later. This one does not operate the way the one in the mountain did. It's magically operated. So Reinhardt gets in. Do you want to jump in before the doors close?
Yeah, if the opportunity provides.
Okay, roll a stealth check for me.
Okay. One's only 12.
Okay. So he gets in, and before the doors can close, you slip past them. He seems a little preoccupied. He's looking at his feet. He's talking to himself, like in a low mutter. It is a way that you've not seen him before. He's all by himself in this room. He thinks he's alone. Mm-hmm. And the stress is starting to get to him. The elevator begins to ascend, and it goes the tooth is maybe 100 feet in the air, the dragon's tooth is. And when you get to the top, the doors open, and you're on this gigantic stone platter that's 100 feet in diameter. At the other end, you can see a small contingent of humans. There is one that has very well-kept, like $100 haircut, right? Dressed extravagantly well. Next to him, you can see another human. He's got dark skin and no hair. Carries a cane. He's also dressed very well. And they're all the way on the other side. But they're looking at you. Or at Reinhardt, rather. And then a shadow passes over the dragon's tooth. As you look up, you see two gigantic forms with wings circling overhead. They circle the whole thing once, and then twice. One of them is bright white against the sky, and the other one is very, very dark. They circle, and they come down to a landing right in the middle. The whole thing shudders a little as they hit the top. After they land, they both rear up. There's a gigantic white dragon and a gigantic black dragon. Now, you may not have met dragons before, but you are aware of them. You are a dragonborn. You read stories about them as a kid, whether or not you met them or not. You're aware of their existence. But you might be in awe because they are gigantic. The white one stands up and shakes his head, and his wings ripple a little behind him before he settles them behind him. The black one is all business. Her head moves back and forth as she looks at the people around. She takes in Reinhardt and looks at the human contingent on the other side. Reinhardt begins to walk towards them, and so do the humans on the other side. What would you like to do?
I think I probably dropped down to one knee just like instinctively when they landed. Did a bow for respectful amount of time. But as everyone approaches, I'll stay, 20 feet back from Reinhardt.
Okay. They approach the center, and you hear the white one begin to talk. What is all this fussing and fighting? The human, the one with the coiffed hair on the other side speaks up. Well, you see, Micah, this conflict has been escalated by the Barassians. We're only here as, we're only here at your bidding. We only seek for peace. That's all we want. Oh, is that right? Well, what do you have to say about that, General Reinhardt? I have a lot to say about that, actually. But, and then the black dragon begins to speak, but she does not speak in common. She only speaks in Draconic. It's a lot of harsh consonants, a lot of sibilants, which, as a Dragonborn, you understand?
That's right.
What you hear her say, let's just kill the lot of them. Right now, right here, and be done with it. But it doesn't appear that Reinhardt or the humans understand what she said. Now, I don't think it needs to come to that. Now, listen. We told y'all, don't do this again. Because if y'all do, we gonna end it. And now here we are. You got another conflict going on. Would we call it a war at this point? Reinhardt, you can see the side of his face and his features tighten. But the human on the other side looks he looks like he doesn't really care what they have to say. Well, as you see, we are well, it doesn't really matter what you think anymore, Micah. You see, we have what you might call a ace in the hole. And then you notice Reinhardt's features really tighten up. He looks like he really wants to say something, but he doesn't. At that point, the black dragon steps forward. When I say steps, you feel through the rock each time her foot hits the ground. She picks that human up in one hand, rears her head back, and spits out a plume of acid that melts him in front of your eyes. She takes this wet thing in her hands and goes on the ground in front of him. The other human, who has scars now, what do you have to say about it? You see, on your right, you see General Reinhardt speaking to his radio. And then the world ends. Out on the great scythe, which you can see out in the distance, that giant cannon you saw, there are many of them installed in the great scythe, and they all begin to fire. Down in the plains, you can see one particular spot that they're focusing on, and it must be hell down there. You can hear the booming from where you are, miles and miles away. And then you hear a low rumble. It starts deep in the earth, and it comes up through the stone and the tooth, and comes up through your body and into your chest. It's so low that you can't hear it. You can only feel it. Then you feel a pressure wave come past you. It sucks the air out of your lungs. And then the air is back. Another wave goes past you, and you feel like you're 1,000,000 years old. Your legs are so heavy, it's hard to hold your head up. You look down at your hands and you see wrinkles. You try to take a step and your knees threaten to buckle underneath you. And then the wave comes back the other way. And you feel younger than you felt in years. The people around you, the same thing is happening to them. The man with no hair, he drops to his knees. He looks like he's suddenly 200 years old. But when the pressure wave comes back, he's younger than he's ever been. The stone around you doesn't fare so well. It gets old, really old. It starts to crumble. The mortar holding it together starts to fall apart. But it doesn't come back the way you do. And the entire dragon's tooth starts to turn and tilt. The dragons recoil. And they both take to the air and fly off in different directions. Out in the distance, where the cannons were focusing their fire, you see a black sphere that is becoming bigger and bigger incrementally. What would you like to do?
I'm sliding down this side of a mountain.
The whole tooth has tilted. So yes, it's not at a 45-degree angle yet, but it's getting close. It's starting. You can tell it's about to fall off the whole top of the thing.
I think I'll do my best to run to take cover in the train.
Okay.
I'll head towards the edge of the platform.
Mm-hmm.
You should not take an elevator in a fire, so I'll look for any other way down.
You see the man with no hair jump off the edge.
On the same side that where near I am?
On the lower side, yeah.
Oh, is it pretty? It's tilted enough that there's
You're still 75 feet in the air.
Okay. I don't really want
But he
to
just
do that.
jumps off the edge.
Yeah. I'm still making it over to the elevator, seeing if I can climb down the scaffolding to the train.
Okay, so you make it to the elevator, and you can see that the scaffolding underneath has started to buckle, but it is still intact. But things are happening quickly.
Yeah, I'll start climbing down.
Okay, roll I guess a dexterity? Or strength, or whichever.
Yeah, 11 for dexterity.
Okay, so do you want to get in the car, or do you want to climb?
No, I don't want to Well, I guess this giant wave is approaching pretty fast, right?
Not very fast. If you were to sit and time it, you might have several hours before it got to you. The
Oh,
black
okay.
sphere.
Yeah. I turn back. I see if Reinhardt is following suit. Is he coming back?
Reinhardt is gone.
Okay. Yeah, I'll try to take the. I think I'll climb down the scaffolding.
Okay. And also in the air, it's very it's like there's electricity in the air. If you had hair on the back of your neck as a dragonborn, it would be standing up.
I have these, as a gym dragonborn, I kind of have some floating
Okay.
psionic spikes, and I imagine maybe they're just like vibrating a little bit.
Oh yeah, they would definitely be vibrating.
Yeah.
You can see in the air. It's kind of like the mist from a water sprinkler, where you can kind of see a rainbow in it. That's what the air looks like, but there's no water. So you swing around the side of the elevator and begin to climb down. You've got about 75 feet to go before you hit the ground.
Wow.
So you climb hand over hand down the elevator shaft. Off to your left, you can see that the man who jumped off the edge is floating very nicely to the ground. He's not falling. He's floating very softly. When he hits the ground, he goes towards the train tunnel. So you climb hand over hand down. The entire platform of the Dragon's Tooth is shifted in that direction. It's starting to reach that event horizon where it goes over altogether. But by that time, you're 15 feet above the ground. You're shimmying down this thing like crazy, trying to get away.
Mm-hmm.
But when you are 15 feet above the ground, it begins to go over.
I'll jump.
Okay, so you jump, make a dexterity saving throw for me.
Natural 20.
Natural 20.
So that's 25.
So you jump off. When you hit the ground, you do a neat little roll. You pop up on your feet and you're still moving. Above you, the Dragon's Tooth is tilted so far that the rim is almost on the ground when it begins to slide off of the pedestal it was on. When it hits the ground, it begins to break apart in this incredible amount of noise, a rumble in the ground. Stone is breaking apart behind you as you run away. There's a lot of dust thrown up in the air. Which way are you running?
Towards where I know the train to be.
Okay. So with the dexterity saving throw like that, you make it out of the way of any rocks that are falling or anything like that. And you make it to the opening that goes down into the train tunnels just as the tooth completely collapses in the background. And all that's left is part of the pedestal sticking up out of the ground. It looks a lot like a dragon's tooth. And you are at the opening of the subway tunnels.
Smidge.
Who's that?
I'll turn visible again.
Okay.
Smidge, we may need to leave.
Who's that?
It's Droth.
Okay. Where do we want to go?
I
Why
don't know.
are we going? What happened?
Everything blew up there. Don't you all have a plan for something like this? You have a place to go?
We have plans upon plans upon plans. But not when everything blows up.
I mean, we gotta go somewhere.
If everything blows up, all the plans go out the window.
Okay, is this train safe? Is it like
I doubt it.
indestructible?
I mean, being underground might be a good thing.
Okay, let's go. Let's go underground.
All right. The teleportation circle is not on. but the tunnels are still there. You can go that way.
Yeah, then we don't. How do we turn them on?
Oh, I don't think we can. Are you a
Smidge.
wizard?
No, Smidge, are you?
No,
That would have been great if you were.
I'm barely a fighter. I'm more of what's the word? Administrator?
Okay. Can you administrate this train?
Most
into
of
a
these
safer
ribbons are for
location?
typing.
Smidge, listen.
Yes.
Everyone is. Looks like from up there, everyone is dying. I don't know where the general is. We need to get to a safe location. Let's go underground.
You don't know where is General Reinhardt? Where'd he go?
I mean, I don't know. Feel free to go find him.
I have to do that. It's my job.
Okay.
You go that way down the tunnel. And here, take this. And he gives you a radio. And you call me when you find there's no protocol for this. You understand?
Okay.
When things blow up, it is what it is.
Yeah, Smidge, I haven't understood anything in the last 6 hours.
I haven't understood anything in the last 15 years.
It's you and me versus the end of the world, I guess.
You go that way. I'll go find Reinhardt. And if you find a safe place, I guess, radio me.
Okay.
Okay.
Be careful, Smidge.
You too.
I didn't, James, I didn't actually see what happened to the general, did I? Okay. Yeah, I guess I guess I should go down the tunnel.
Okay.
Do I have to abandon the train car?
Yeah. Yeah, you
Head
can't
out
move
on
it by
foot?
yourself. It doesn't have like its own locomotion.
Okay. Yeah, I'll head down the tunnel.
All right, so you walk down the tunnel.
Light jog, at least.
Into the dark. Dragonborns don't have dark vision, do they?
No, we do not.
Okay. So you walk down the tunnel into the dark. And as you get away from the train car, it becomes almost total blackness. Although, every now and then, there is a crack in the ceiling that looks pretty fresh,
Yeah.
which lets sunlight through. So you make your way down the tunnel, and it goes steadily downward. Not sharply, just steadily. Not enough to throw your stride off, but you can tell you're going down. You walk for a mile, 2 miles. Eventually it gets completely dark, completely black. And you're just feeling your way along the rock wall of the tunnel. You can't see your hand in front of your face.
Do you have a candle in my just adventurer's kit
Okay.
in your box?
You want to light that thing up?